Be interesting to see what the seas are outside of Minerva.
See if we can get a very good evening, everybody, and it is a beautiful, beautiful evening here at Gulf Harbour Radio. Patricia and David with you again, ZMH 286. Just no wind all day. It's just been absolutely fabulous. Once you get used to the fact that you have to put on more clothes than normal because it is rather chilly. We've got 0 to 1 knots, but it is from the south, so we do know it is winter. 1020.2. Actually, I should rephrase that. It's not really winter yet, is it? It's autumn and an absolutely beautiful fall. 10% cloud cover, but we're certainly looking at conditions that are very different from what we've got here. For the boats that have left today, we'll be talking to them shortly. And certainly Genesis, who has just gone through the pass at New Caledonia, he's had 20 knots of east. It's just come in. He is at 22 degrees 37 south and 166 degrees 26 minutes east. 2 metres of southeast swell. It's been squally pretty much all day, but it is improving at the moment. So hopefully his trip through the inner harbour will be really good. So welcome to New Caledonia. Genesis. So we've got quite a few boats at North Minerva and wouldn't mind hearing from them after we finish the boats on passage. Quite a few boats at Minerva that we are talking to: Luthier, Renard, Cambria, Freya and Bellina. So it looks as if the wind might have been not all that pleasant today, but we'll wait and see. So let's go to the boats on passage and see how we go. Fortunately tonight and forevermore we will not have any pack door running whilst the net is on. So thank you to Nigel up there in Caio for that. Taurus, Gulf Harbour Radio.
Good evening, Gulf Harbour Radio. This is Lady Taurus. Over.
Very nice copy from you, Cara. How are things going? Over.
Going very well, thank you. We've had a reasonable day sailing with winds of 25 knots coming from, or currently coming from 135. We've just gone through a couple of storms, but today's been pretty clear. Currently, cloud cover is about 90%.
Oh, 90%, so quite a lot of cloud cover. Okay, give me your position. That's certainly enough wind to get Taurus moving along. Go ahead.
Yes, that's right. So our position is 31 degrees and 8 minutes south and 176 degrees 37 minutes east.
Okay, course and speed, and I have your wind at around the 25 knot mark from the southeast with 90% cloud cover. I'll see what David's looking at for the future, but what's your current course and speed, please?
Current course is approximately 355 degrees and 35 minutes.
Okay, 355, I think that's true. In fact, everybody who's listening, I will assume your course that you're giving me is true unless you say otherwise. 5.5 knots. Just stand by, we'll see what David's looking at.
Well, tomorrow at about this time, or maybe lunchtime, pretty much the same conditions really. I think maybe more southerly in the wind, but about 25 knots and a fair amount of cloud still, good 60-70% probably tomorrow. All that is thanks to the depression that is to your southeast, or east-southeast I should say. That is actually making quite a bit of cloud. A fair amount of convection caused by wind convergence, a bit of a squash zone between that low and the high to the west of New Zealand. So a lot of breeze, but in the neighborhood, like I said, of about 25 knots thereabouts, and that's tomorrow at about lunchtime. So nothing evil, just a quite fresh wind, and you're off. Things could probably not be a whole lot better. Over.
Sorry, Dave, thank you. we didn't receive some of that through the
What's
parents. I got the gist of it, thank you.
I forgot to ask the C.
Yes. What is this? What's the sea like? What is the sea conditions like, Cara?
Moderate sea, approximately 3 to 4 metres.
Yeah. Same.
Okay,
Same
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, same again tomorrow. Same again tomorrow for you, Cara. Yes, you're still quite close to us, so you will be able to hear us better tomorrow. So we'll clear with you and go to Zelda Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Zelda. I'll copy.
Oh, I always have a good copy on you, Heike. Go ahead.
Our position is 3251 south, 17537 east. Course over ground 0 to 9er true, speed 6.2 knots, wind 22 knots from south-southeast, swell 2.5 meters, 70% cloud cover, 1016 millibars. All is well on board, but we saw an albatross flying around us today. Over.
Sorry, what was that last comment?
We saw an albatross flying around the boat today.
Oh, an albatross.
Oh, an albatross. Well, we won't talk about the ancient mariner, and I'm sure you're not ancient, Heike. 3251 south, 17537 east, 029 true, 6.2 knots, 22 knots. There's some wind out there, boy. It's funny that we're not getting much here. 22 knots of south-southeast, 2.5 metre swell, and 70% cloud cover with 1016 on the bar. And
Much the same
all
tomorrow.
is well on board. And you probably heard David before, but it's going to be much the same tomorrow. So you'll be making good progress again. Over.
Yeah, copy that. Yeah, it's been a bit rough in the morning and last night, but now it's easier a little bit. The sea state is more stable. Over.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm sure your sea legs and tummies are getting used to being out in the ocean again. So, all right. Hello to Cheryl, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Okay, let's clear with Zelda and go to El Risha. El Risha, actually I was just talking to another boat today that's going to be leaving for Vanuatu. Actually they're going to stop at Anisham. If you can time your arrival with the cruise ships, that's always a possibility. El Risha, Gulf Harbour. Whoop, nothing heard there. Okay, let's go to the boats that have left today, and there are a few of them. There was Leto, Mackay, Flying Cloud, and Komaru, and then way back a bit is Painkiller. Mackay, you on frequency, Barry, over.
Roger, Patricia, you're loud and clear here. Mackay, how are you copying me? Over.
Yeah, very loud and clear. Doesn't matter where Mackay is, always seem to get you loud and clear. Go ahead. It sounds like you've got a bit more wind than we've got down here, over.
Yeah, roger that, Patricia. We're running about 20 to 21 knots now. My position is 3502 south, 17415 east. It's 3502 south, 17415 east. Course over ground is about 35 degrees. It's bouncing around a little bit. That 35 degrees true. I'm currently doing 6 knots, 6.0 knots, and the wind is from 109. So it looks like we've got a east-southeast wind. Swell is maybe 2 meters, no more than that, definitely. With about a 1 foot wind chop on it. And sky conditions clear above with clouds all around and on the horizon. And I can see that convergence band that David was talking about off to my east, northeast, going south. It's kind of running about a 45-degree angle across up ahead, and there is some vertical development in it. Nothing scary or anything like that, but I can see the convection in it. Over.
Yeah, roger that. And he looked before when your email came in, and I'll let him tell you, but it looks like all good to manoeuvre. Hang on.
Yeah, thanks for the email. This morning we took a look at that, figured we'd get you on the radio tonight, and here you are. Yeah, well, the seas are going to pick up a little bit more as you're heading north due to the squash between that low, of which you see the clouds thereof. The squash between it and the high to the west, as I said a minute ago. So anyway, that'll continue for a day or so. So tomorrow the wind's probably going to be more southerly as you get further north or northeast based on the heading that you've got. So a little bit more wind tomorrow to be expected, but not much more than that in terms of freshness. I would say 20 to 25 knots. Again, probably more southerly as you head north. Yeah, being so close to New Zealand at this point, yeah, the winds are a little bit lighter and a slightly different direction from which they're going to be in a day or so. But the next couple of days, you're going to have very nice winds to get you north or to get you up toward Minerva. And like I say, they will start to pick up in strength, and the seas are going to be a little bit bigger. But everything's pretty much behind you. Over.
Yeah, roger that, David. That's good news. And yeah, it's currently I'm seeing up to 21 knots. So I guess it is going to freshen some more. But being from behind me, that is going to help. Okay, well, that's all I have. Thank you very much for the weather report there, David. And we'll check in again tomorrow.
Very fine. We'll look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Have a good evening.
Okay, clear with Mackay. I'm not sure whether Flying Cloud was going to be on tonight. Flying Cloud, Are you on frequency?
Go hard radio. This is Flying Cloud. Lovely to be aboard. Out on the water again. Thank you.
Well, that's what we like to see. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Although I have to say, with the glorious days that we're having here, I'm not too envious, but yeah, it's nice to be going north. Go ahead with your position report.
Flying Cloud location is 34 degrees, 24.010 south, 174 degrees, 29.549 east. We've got about 18 to 21 knots of breeze, true breeze. We're hitting about 25 degrees magnetic, and we are doing about 8 to 9 knots. It's really smashing along here right now, but we're just going to check in some reef for the night. Over.
Yep, that's good for those who are on watch during the night. Flying Cloud is at 34 degrees, 24 minutes south, 17429 east, with that 18 to 21 knots of east-southeast wind, and the course is 0 to 5 magnetic, 8 to 9 knots. Well, that'll certainly get rid of any of those Bay of Islands barnacles. Well, we hope so anyway. And I take it all is well on board once you settle down for the night. And I have got a different Flying Cloud because it's a different MMSI number. What is your name? Over.
Yeah, this is Simon. You may be referring to one of the previous Daves that have owned Flying Cloud. I'm the new custodian.
Yeah, okay, you were with us last year, so I didn't know whether this was different or not, Cyrus. Yep, had your details from last year. Okay, yeah, good signal from you and Barry actually, so that's good. All right, have a nice peaceful night and make good progress. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Clear with Flying Cloud, zipping along there. I'll just try again for El Risha, Gulf Harbour. No, nothing heard. Is there any of the boats in the Minervas that would like to give us a report? That would be good. Standing by, listening.
Freya?
Yeah, good evening to Freya. Go ahead, Todd.
Oh, thank you, Patricia. Wind right now, 240 degrees true, 18 knots. We've had a few brief showers roll through the area today. Right now, 70% cloud cover, and 1005 on the bottom. Over.
Okay, here you go. North.
Yeah, hi. Oop.
Please go ahead.
All right, sorry about that. Todd, I'm curious about the sea conditions outside the reef. From what I can see here, it looks like about 3 meters, and all that's coming from that depression that's to the southeast of you. When you take a look out there, does it look like the seas are up a bit? Over.
I'd say affirmative. We were walking on the reef at low tide, and they were really crashing in. And we've had some pretty high gusts today. We saw mid-30s to 40 during a couple of those squalls that came through. But yes, I'd say the seas are up quite a bit. Have not talked to any boats that did come in today. Over.
Roger that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yep, just comparing that to what the models are talking about, and should be about the same tomorrow. And the winds are going to be fairly fresh tomorrow as well. And again, the odds are decent for a squall from time to time, and you know what happens with the wind when that happens. So anyway, enjoy it when it's nice and sunny, which it probably will be most of the time. Just take a look at what the prognosis is for clouds up where you are tomorrow. And from what I can see, it looks pretty good. Not too bad at all. Hang on 1 minute. Yeah, not too bad. I could tell you what the modeling is projected for clouds right over where you are at the moment. And this is tomorrow at about lunchtime. They're only calling off about 30%. 30%. So I'd be curious when we talk, if we talk again tomorrow, what you actually do have about that time. I do like to look at the progs on cloud. It gives a very good visual on what is really happening to the atmosphere, if that's correct, if they are correct. So anyway, we never used to get that with models before, and now they're all starting to project cloud cover, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, thanks for the report, and have a good evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully.
That sounds good. I'll be sure to note the cloud cover tomorrow around lunchtime and report in tomorrow. Sounds like several boats are leaving here Saturday for the arrival Tuesday in Southwest Harbour. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk tomorrow. Over.
Okay, we'll have a look at the weather between Minervas and Savu tomorrow then for them departing. Yeah, the trouble with those big seas is that at high tide you get a little bit rougher in the lagoon there. And there's actually quite a bit of activity leaving the Bay of Islands tomorrow too. I'm not sure whether I mentioned it, but we've got Falado and Masterplan, Mintaka, Carrera. So a bit of activity. We didn't used to see boats leaving on a Friday, but obviously in the 21st century people are not as superstitious as they were in the 20th century. I think David might have a comment.
Oh no, I was just looking at what things are looking like for Fiji around Tuesday at around lunchtime. You probably wonder why I always look at lunchtime, but we enjoy lunch. Basically, that's the reason. But anyway, yeah, that trough is very persistent. It's not currently over Fiji. It's to the north now. For those of you at Minerva that are wondering what's going on up there, I'm sure you're probably picking it up if you've got Starlink. But anyhow, that trough has been running from the Solomons right through Fiji or to the north of Fiji for the last week, and it's going to continue for another week, really. And at the moment, actually, it's split up as a couple of troughs that have merged. So if you are getting satellite imagery, you'll see a lot of cloud between Tonga and all the way up to, all the way up to probably about 15 south, thereabouts. Uh, Plenty of cloud, plenty of rain, plenty of squall activity, a lot of thunderstorms. So, yeah, that lifts and drops in terms of latitude, that band that runs that length that I was talking about. So, anyhow, looking to the future, next Tuesday again, that band is still there, but just to the north of Fiji. So, those that are arriving on Tuesday, if this is correct, they'll be in pretty good shape in terms of whether or not it rains. So anyway, in between Minerva and there, Fiji that is, there is squall activity from what I could see. In fact, a lot of squall activity. This is a very amazing weather system. By then, this big high that's been over the Tasmania area will have drifted over New Zealand and then just to the east of New Zealand, and yet another high develops in the bight of Australia, and it's almost going to be a 10:30 by next week. But anyway, those winds from the high that's moving very, very slowly, they are colliding with the winds from the high that's well to the east, sort of the semi-permanent high that's off the South American coast. It's there, semi-permanent, meaning it's there most of the time, and it's putting a lot of wind. It's fairly strong, and it's sending a lot of wind from east to west to the west, and that wind and atmospheric conditions are colliding with those of the high that's down where we are. And when that happens, of course, we're getting a lot of convective activity, and that's the reason for these troughs. And it's looking like it's going to stay that way. So, yeah, very interesting from a weather standpoint. But anyway, those of you in Minerva, just keep enjoying because it looks like it's beautiful. Every now and again, a little blip from a squall or two. And those of you that are sailing north, you're going to have some pretty decent weather all the way up to either Minerva or Vanuatu or Fiji or wherever you're going direct. Then after Tuesday, it starts changing again. Everything starts to drift east, and with that, wind directions are going to change and whatnot. But too far ahead to really know for sure. Anyhow, that's just a general look, and I'll pass it back to the chief.
Thank you for that. And I just looked up El Risha on the AIS, see where Ferry and Bridget were, but it's 3.5 hours old. But at that stage, they had about southeast 20 knots of wind, 28 degrees 41 and 17216 east. They were doing 6.2 on a course of 347 true. Actually, there were boats that are sort of at the top of that low that David talked about. Zanzibar from Australia, this was about almost 2 hours ago. They are up there with a good 30 knots of wind, so certainly no complaints about the wind direction, but I'm sure people could probably do with a little less wind. They're at about 26 degrees and 179 east. Okay, is there anybody else wanting to make contact with a position or a radio check or whatever? Please call now.
Arisha, this is Arisha, do you repeat?
Oh, hello, Alrisha. I was just wondering where you were. Go ahead, Ferry, with an update. Over.
Yes, I'm sorry, I had a little trouble with the gear here. So now it's all functioning, and I'm lucky. I'm still within the time frame. May I start with my position and my report? Over.
Yes, go ahead. Well, because it's quite old from the AIS, so go ahead.
All right. So position is 28 degrees 18 south and 172 degrees 12 east. Do you copy?
Yes, I do. Carry on.
Roger. So we are currently having a course over ground of 343 degrees 2 at a speed of 6.1 knots. We have 668 nautical miles to go. And finally, the weather situation is wind is mainly still from southeast with 22 gusting to 30 knots, and the swell has slightly reduced to 2 meters maybe. That's it from us.
Okay, so it's still keeping you on your toes on Alrisha. Thank you for the update. I'll just confirm that. 2818 south, 17212 east, 343 true at 6.1 knots, give or take, and 688 miles to go to Port Vila. The swell is just down a little bit, 2 meters, with the south-southeast 22 gusting 30. So I guess you too will be reducing sail a bit for the evening, but all's well on board, I presume, and Ferry and Bridget are making really good progress. Any messages from you?
Similar winds tomorrow.
Similar winds again tomorrow, says David. So yes, you're certainly going to be making a lot of progress, even if it's not all that comfortable. Over. Yes, where are we? Alrisha, how copy?
Yeah, sorry, yes, I copy that. The distance to go, I'm not sure if that was 668, okay? Distance to go is 668. I did understand something else, over.
Oh, roger that, 668. Well, that's better than 688, isn't it? A good couple of hours. Alrighty, or more than that. Alright, well, stay safe out there. Good strong winds, but good direction and pushing you in the right course for Vanuatu. Okay, we'll clear with you. Thank you for coming up, and we'll make sure if there's anybody else before we shut it down. Anybody else? Oh, hello, Jonathan. Yeah, I missed you when you gave greetings on the streaming the other day. So how is Shay Nu? Over?
All good here. I'm just calling please for a radio check from 77.
Yep, it's good. Well, it's not too strong, but it's certainly very clear, audible, and strong enough to copy. So all is well. What are your plans for the season? Over?
I will be running a Team 38 line through the Lao group. We've got quite a lot of medical aid coming up from New Zealand in the next month or so.
Yeah, I think I read about that from Vicky. So yeah, that will keep you busy and good to. Well, it sounds like the Lao group is in more communication than it used to be, but we'll look forward to hearing from you from the various little islands. Over. Okay, so that was Shay Nu up there in Savu Savu. So are you at the new marina, Jonathan? Over?
We were. We're just taking it off now, heading to the marina. But yes, we did spend a few days in the week. Over.
Yeah, it looks rather nice from the air shots that I've seen. Okay, we'll clear with Shay Nu, who has a good signal from Savu Savu. Is there anybody else? Oh, I think there is somebody there. I'm going to need a relay though because it's very, very light. Is there any relay for the boat that has just called in? Would that person please call again because you are virtually unreadable here, but call again, someone might be able to relay. Go ahead. Goodness.
Probably too close.
Well, I've got nothing at all. If anyone's still on frequency, can anybody copy that? No, I'm sorry, whoever it is, but there's definitely not much coming up into the airwaves from you at the moment. You'll need to have a check out of things. Okay, folks.
We're too close.
No, I don't think we're too close. It seems a long way away, but who knows? This is Gulf Harbour Radio, and we'll be back again tomorrow night, same time, same place, 0515 UTC. And if anybody wants to get hold of us, our email is ghradio@extra.co.nz. You'll find all the information that you need to know on the website, ghradio.co.nz. And if you want to have folk listening to you while you're on passage, just give them the website, because they can just click on streaming. Actually, if they subscribe, not that it costs you anything, but if you subscribe, then you get a message when there's a new posting. So that will happen every day if you want to keep track of people. Cheers, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio Clear, and if anybody wants the frequency, you are welcome to it.
Lewis here.